Well, of course, most of us use Google every single day, but now the popular search engine is being questioned.
A federal judge ruled that the company acted illegally to obtain a tech monopoly.
What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the entire landscape of not just Google search, which represents somewhere around 95% of all online searches, but also YouTube and the video search marketplace could change forever. And in my opinion, in the most amazing way. We have now it's been reported that the United States Justice Department is now considering breaking up Google. I mean, this probably hasn't happened. Well, it's other than the Bells, probably the phone companies a long time ago. It's never happened at this scale. I would argue that Google's monopoly is perhaps even bigger than what the telephone companies had back in the day. I don't remember, was that the 80s or something like that? This is massive. It is impossible to understate the incredible value that this would have, I think, not just to the internet, but for information and for, actual truth finding its way to the internet. First and foremost, obviously, we know that Google pretty obviously supports one political party and will skew the results in one way or another. We've seen multiple examples of, oh, I'm just searching up Donald Trump. Oh, here's 20 positive articles about Kamala Harris you didn't ask for. We know that they did this in 2020. We know that they did this in 2016. Therefore, we can know they will do this again in 2028, which is why they should be broken up, in my opinion. When you represent this much of the search market, when you are the default search engine on every new Android phone that hits the market, when you're the default search engine of the most popular browsers in the world, it used to mean that you were the best product. However, it no longer means that. And to a larger extent, as somebody who makes their living talking to people in video form on the internet, still, YouTube represents probably 80% of my overall views, regardless of how many times I literally beg people to download the Rumble app and follow The Quartering on Rumble. Everybody that moves to Rumble does not make me more money. It makes me less money. But I support free speech and alt tech and new tech, and I always did. And I have long before I ever had a daily show on Rumble. So this is so bananas. I know that I'm probably more excited about it than your average bear. But I just remember, first of all, if you haven't yet, after this video, download the Rumble app. Follow The Quartering. I'm live every day at 1 Eastern, Monday to Friday, but I also do special nightly streams. I'll be doing election coverage. I'll be doing collabs. I've got Graham Allen coming on Monday. All of this stuff happens on Rumble. And most often, my videos are uploaded there first. Anyway, you just see unusual whales. Just in, U.S. Justice Department is considering breaking up Alphabet's Google. Tim Pool responds with, whoa. Classic Joey. You can see, why would the deep state do this? They control their narrative, just more gaslighting. Didn't a federal judge already say last week that Google was a monopoly? Yes, they did say that Google was a monopoly. They were speaking, I think, in terms of the default search engine that you get on every Android phone. I explain this to people oftentimes in videos. Google doesn't care about the Android operating system on phones. They care that this is a walking ad device, that they can serve you ads. That's why Google buys platforms. Google didn't buy YouTube because they're big fans of video and cat videos. Google bought YouTube to serve ads. Google runs its search engine to serve ads. Somewhere along the line, they decided that they cared about political clout and changing the way people vote and think, and around the COOF and the lockdowns, allowing deciding whether or not they were going to allow people to speak out against things. Many things we found now that many of the dissenters at the time that were banned were correct about. You can see this from Nick Sorter. Breaking, U.S. Department of Justice now considering suing and breaking of Google after a court ruled last week that the company monopolized the search market. This comes just days after it was revealed that Google is meddling in search results to push Kamala Harris' campaign. The Biden DOJ never acts in good faith. So what is their motivation here? To intimidate Google into doing the regime's dirty work? Well, it's certainly possible. You can see here when you search Donald Trump, news about Harris, Donald Trump, and it's all positive articles about Kamala Harris. This is how you actually, control the uninformed. And you know what? I don't, a lot of people will call them sheep or NPCs and stuff like that. I think we should stop doing that. I think that, yes, there are literal NPCs, and sheep, but they're generally the ones that consume the news. There are huge amounts of people out there that are too busy working 2 or 3 jobs, or 2 jobs and being a mom or a dad, or just trying to get by, to sit there and watch some overweight bearded guy talk about politics on the internet, okay? Or talk about technology, or talk about Hollywood, or talk about this or that. So, they don't have a chance to be informed properly. They don't have a chance to consume 10 different pieces of news and then figure out for themselves what the truth is. That's why Google carries with it the level of trust that it does, and they have abused that trust by carrying water for one particular political party, but not just one political party. Basically, Google has become your doctor, allowing and disallowing whether or not people maybe believe with this, that, or the other thing, allowing whether or not you're allowed to point out successful rivals. For example, Google for a very long time, and I'm not sure that this has even changed. Have you ever seen a BitChute video show up in Google? No. Have you seen Rumble videos show up in the search results of Google? No. In fact, Rumble is suing Google for this exact reason, okay? Google is not just a monopoly, but they use that monopoly to push out competition. Google's monopoly on the Android phone and the Android Play market is what allowed them to get rid of Parler in about 12 seconds once all 3 tech giants got themselves together. And I, for one, don't think that this is good for society. And I also don't think it's good for video formats. Obviously, I am biased. My entire livelihood, my 10 employees, my coffee company, everything still largely relies on Google. All right. And I am still saying to break them up, because the long-term picture means more competition for YouTube, which means better options. More competitions for search engines means better options. You used to have to be the best search engine. Google actually maintained its dominance by being the best search engine. There used to be all sorts of search engines back in the day. I mean, anyone remember Ask Jeeves, Dogpile? I mean, all this got Yahoo search engine. All these search engines used to exist. MSN search engine, and all the third-party search engines, 7Search, all this kind of stuff. They all used to exist, but Google obtained a monopoly, and now you can't even, you can't even find them. It's because Google says you can't be on my search engine store, so 90% or 70% of people who have phones can't figure it out. Gab, for example, a free speech Twitter alternative, is not allowed on the Google Play Store. Why? Because they don't adhere to their weirdo rules about hate speech. Well, the truth is there's no such thing as hate speech. It's a made-up term used to censor free speech. All of these platforms, by the way, enjoy Section 230 protection, which is supposed to prevent them from doing that. So, in summary, the Justice Department is now reportedly considering a push for a historic breakup of Google's business empire after a federal judge ruled the big tech giant has an illegal monopoly over online search. By the way, the #1 search engine in the world is Google, and the #2, the last numbers I saw, was YouTube. Then after that was Amazon. Okay, so the level of iron grip that one company has over the information that you consume. By the way, have you downloaded the Rumble app yet? After this video, download that Rumble app, follow your favorite creators. I'm not saying that you need to leave YouTube or leave Google or whatever, but I'm saying just build it into your daily viewing. You know how you have Netflix and you have Disney Plus and you might have Peacock and you might have this and you might have that. Just have the Rumble app as addition to YouTube, because there's going to be a time, especially around the election, when you're really going to just want to find the truth. Okay, and you're not going to be able to find it on YouTube, and you're not going to be able to find it on Google. Slowly but surely, I now have 251,000 followers on Rumble, by the way. 251,000. The other night, I had 150,000 people watching me live during the Elon Trump space. Okay, so there are, I mean, Rumble is alive. I oftentimes, most of my videos there now can get, here's a video of 636,000, here's 50,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Rumble is alive. Competition is good. And not just Rumble. I want more than just Rumble. I want BitChute, Odyssey, new video platforms to work. This is like, you tell I'm getting excited because I hate monopolies. You know, the board game's fine, but I don't like one giant tech company deciding what information I should get and what I shouldn't. Feds were also weighing, quote, less severe options, such as requiring Google to share data with rival search engines such as DuckDuckGo and Microsoft's Bing. First of all, DuckDuckGo sucks, all right? I know a lot of people for like a second thought DuckDuckGo is going to be a good alternative. Wrong. They're a part of the machine too. Their owner's a cuck. Microsoft Bing, I'd probably trust that more than anything else. I don't want them to share data. I want them broken up. Because as long as Google controls Android and cell phones, which is about 80% of the people that view my videos, we will never get a fair market for ideas. As long as Android Play or Google Play Store exists, we will never have a free market of ideas for video or text. The same thing is true of iPhone. There is no conceivable way for any real third or fourth party to come in at this point, so you need to break these companies up. They have set up unfair monopolies, which has now been confirmed by a federal judge, and they need to get broken up. In a landmark ruling last week, a judge ruled that Google is a monopoly and has relied on billions of dollars in payments to partners like Apple, Samsung, and AT&T cell phones, including a $26.3 billion in 2021 alone to make sure its search engine is enabled by default on most smartphones. And also YouTube comes on that cell phone too, doesn't it? So imagine if your cell phone came with Brave Search and Rumble instead of YouTube. What kind of massive seismic change that could make to the market. Here's Chris Pavlovski, the CEO of Google, saying, the impact this would have on Rumble and all its creators cannot be understated. This would transform the internet in the most beautiful and positive way. I agree. And I will say, even though I'm loyal to Rumble, I'm saying it's even bigger than Rumble. I'm saying it would open the doors for more competition, which is what everybody wants, which is what I need, which is what the world needs. So I'm absolutely in favor of breaking up Google, and I look forward to being disappointed when they don't, but I hope that they do. Make sure you download that Rumble app, you follow the quartering, you follow your other favorite content creators, because anyone that cares about free speech is there. And if they're not there, you should ask them why. I hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you again real soon.